Puffy. I don't let men take me out, sir. I'm good. I'll do no damage.
And you around and looked in the wrong room and come here. Is that two niggas kissing?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach.
You know how many celebrities went to Diddy's house? Thinking they was finna dance?
To be gay in Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little room.
Welcome back to Juicy Pulse, your daily dose of scandal and glamour. Let's spill the tea on today's biggest celebrity stories. Is that a kiss too? Katt Williams just stepped in and lit up the internet again, this time throwing shade and spilling truth about Terrence Howard's recent digs at Diddy. And Katt ain't holding back. He's revealing why Terrence might have been forced into silence by the Hollywood machine. So here's what went down. Terrence popped off on the PBD podcast, talking wild about how some stars had to give up their man card just to climb the ladder. Yeah, he really said that. But here's the thing. Katt Williams been shouting about that same twisted game in Hollywood for years. And back then, folks called him crazy. But now it looks like Katt was right the whole time. Now rumors are flying that Katt and Terrence might actually link up and start their own podcast, dropping even more behind-the-scenes dirt. Imagine those two unleashing bomb after bomb on what really goes down at those so-called industry parties. So what exactly did Katt say about Diddy and this whole thing with Terrence? And are these two really about to team up and blow the lid off even more celeb secrets? Especially the ones involving those wild invite-only parties that had some folks saying they lost their man card? So by now, you've probably caught wind that Terrence Howard pulled up to the PBD podcast and dropped some heavy-hitting tea. He claimed a bunch of celebs gave up their man card at those infamous Diddy parties just to make it big in the game. But that wasn't even the wildest part. Terrence took it all the way there, saying straight up that this wasn't just hearsay. He said some of the biggest names seen partying with Diddy over the years were part of it. Then came the shocker. Terrence claimed Diddy personally made a move on him. Yeah, he said Diddy first tried to play it cool, asking for help with acting, then switched up and pretended to be into his music. But here's the twist. Terrence's assistant caught on quick and warned him that Diddy's vibe was off. And that's when Terrence cut off all ties. And it gets deeper. Terrence said Diddy wasn't the only one trying it. He revealed that other top producers came at him sideways too, offering shady deals and strange energy behind closed doors. But Terrence wasn't about to play along. He shut it all down. Still, he kept it real, saying his no-nonsense attitude ended up costing him big time in Hollywood. He missed out on major roles and opportunities, all because he refused to sell out. You already know social media went into a full-blown meltdown after Terrence Howard's interview went viral. People couldn't believe what they were hearing, especially since no other big-name actor ever dared to say out loud that Diddy tried to make a move. But here's the kicker. Terrence wasn't the first to speak up. Katt Williams been trying to sound the alarm for years. Way before anybody else caught on, Katt was out here dropping hints about Diddy's behavior, and nobody took him seriously. He even told Fat Joe straight up that Diddy once invited him out for dinner, and Katt had to shut it down quick. Then came that explosive club Shay Shay interview last year, where Katt didn't hold back at all. He said Diddy came at him more than once, and each time, Katt had to curve him. Multiple times. So now that Terrence has stepped up with his own story, Katt's standing strong behind him. You can tell he's riding for Terrence because they've been through some of the same Hollywood weirdness. And get this. There's talk they might be teaming up for a podcast to expose everything. Nothing's confirmed just yet, but fans are already spiraling with excitement. One person on X even posted, "Will someone please put Terrence Howard and Katt Williams together in a room? If these two ever hop on the mic together, woo, Hollywood better brace itself. If Katt Williams and Terrence Howard really link up for a podcast, it might just be the wildest, most explosive show ever to hit the internet." One fan even said, "You gotta love Terrence Howard and Katt Williams, same mindset, same mission." And honestly, they've got a point. These two have been locked in on the same issue for years, calling out what they believe is a hidden agenda in Hollywood targeting black men, especially when it comes to emasculating them. And now, the conversation's heating up again. By now, you've probably seen Katt bring back that old rumor about how black actors supposedly get pressured to wear dresses before they can hit that A-list level. It's a topic that's always stirred major controversy, and Katt ain't afraid to go there. Now insiders are saying Terrence might have actually been blacklisted for refusing to play along with that game. Word is, he turned down roles that pushed a feminine image, and Hollywood shut the door on him after that. But this ain't some new claim. Loads of comedians and actors have raised red flags about it before. Just look at Eddie Griffin. He's spoken out on the same issue too. There's definitely a pattern here, and it's got people talking louder than ever. Eddie Griffin was one of the first to throw serious shade at Hollywood for pushing black actors and comedians into wearing dresses on screen. He exposed the game way back in 1999 with his film Foolish, which he didn't just star in, he wrote the script too. In the movie, Eddie plays Miles Foolish Ways, a young comic hustling to break into Hollywood. But here's where it gets wild. There's a scene that hits way too close to real life. Studio execs try to pressure Foolish into wearing a dress, telling him straight up, all the A-listers did it. Total industry pressure on full display. Then fast forward to 2006, Dave Chappelle dropped his own bombshell on the Oprah Winfrey Show. He revealed that he was allegedly pushed to wear a dress too, for a movie he was filming with Martin Lawrence. And the way Dave told it, it sounded just like that scene in Foolish. But not everyone is speaking out. When Kevin Hart got asked about Dave's story, he just brushed it off and said it never happened to him. No shade, no comment, just kept it moving. So now folks are wondering, why have some stars been vocal about this pattern while others stay silent? There's definitely more to the story. Not long after brushing off Dave Chappelle's story, Kevin Hart popped up on SNL, rocking a dress in one of the sketches. And guess what? That moment ended up being a major turning point in his career. Right after that sketch aired, Kevin's fame went through the roof. His movies blew up, he was everywhere. And some folks started whispering that it was that dress moment on SNL that opened all the right doors for him. But the dress saga doesn't stop there. Katt Williams came back into the spotlight, saying that this whole dress trend isn't just about comedy, it's about power. He claimed that whether or not you throw on that dress could show if you're down to dance with the Illuminati or not. At the time, people laughed it off like Katt was just ranting. But now, the internet's starting to take a second look, especially after Katt doubled down on the whole situation during his Club Shay Shay interview. He said it again, loud and clear. Katt even revealed that Martin Lawrence once tried to get him into a dress for the role in Big Mama's House. But Katt said no without hesitation, and guess who took the part instead? Brandon T. Jackson. It's got people wondering, is there really a dress code in Hollywood for success? Now here's where things get even messier. After Brandon T. Jackson took that role in Big Mama's House 3, Things in his career started moving fast. Movies, red carpets, all that. But not long after, everything slowed down real quick. People started noticing he wasn't landing big roles anymore. Brandon even came out later saying he regretted wearing the dress, calling it a curse on his career. He said it straight up. After playing that part, it felt like Hollywood turned its back on him. And guess who backed him up? Yep, Katt Williams. Katt claimed that once you cross that line for the spotlight, it might come back to haunt you. He even hinted that Brandon's career took a hit because he gave in to that industry pressure. Now folks are looking at patterns. Stars who refuse to play that game seem to disappear, while others who go along suddenly blow up. Coincidence? Or is there really a behind-the-scenes system that decides who shines and who gets shelved? Social media's buzzing again, and fans are connecting the dots between who wore the dress and what happened next. It's got everybody asking, is the price of fame higher than we think? And now, enter Orlando Brown. You already know whenever his name pops up, things get wild. But this time, what he said had people doing double takes. Orlando's known for being unpredictable, but even he's been dropping hints about what really goes down behind the scenes in Hollywood. And it's sounding real familiar. In one of his past interviews, Orlando made some off-the-wall comments about Diddy too, suggesting there's more to those A-list parties than meets the eye. And while a lot of folks laughed it off at the time, now that Terrence and Katt are speaking out, people are starting to go back and re-listen to what Orlando said. He might have sounded chaotic, but some of his claims line up with what others are now exposing. That's why fans are saying, maybe he wasn't just talking nonsense. Maybe he was just the first one bold enough to say it out loud. And with more stars coming forward and social media catching fire over this man card conversation, the spotlight is shifting. The people want answers, and they're done brushing it off as conspiracy talk. So if Orlando was telling even half the truth, what else has Hollywood been hiding behind those velvet ropes? Now with all these voices stacking up, Terrence, Katt, Brandon, even Orlando, people are starting to question everything. The same industry that once called them crazy or washed up is now looking real quiet as more receipts start popping up. What's wild is that this pattern's been right in front of us for years. Actors getting blacklisted, careers suddenly stalling, or celebs switching up real fast after certain roles or events. Fans are asking, what's really the cost of fame? And how deep does this rabbit hole go? Even comedians like Monique have come out with their own stories about being punished by the industry for not playing the game. And guess what? She got shut out for years. So it's not just the guys. It's bigger than that. The whole system seems rigged to reward silence and punish truth-tellers. Now people online are saying we're witnessing the crack in the Hollywood mask. The same system that claimed to make stars is now being accused of breaking people down behind closed doors. So if more celebs keep stepping up, spilling what they've seen and lived through, we might finally see the machine start to crumble. Or will it just tighten its grip and push back harder than ever? And just when you think things can't get any deeper, insiders are whispering that there's way more dirt being kept under wraps. Word on the street is that some celebs have signed ironclad NDAs that block them from ever speaking out. We're talking lifetime silence, or else. Allegedly, some of these parties that everyone keeps talking about, phones get locked up at the door, no cameras, no witnesses. Just big names, closed doors, and favors being traded that nobody wants to talk about publicly. It's all hush-hush, but stories keep leaking, and the pieces are starting to connect. Some fans even believe that celebs who do speak out either get canceled or quietly disappear from the spotlight. They say it's not random, it's all part of the cleanup. If someone steps out of line, they get replaced. Just like that. Now with Katt and Terrence still standing tall, people are watching their every move. Everyone's wondering, will they really expose more, or will the pressure to stay quiet start closing in? Because if there's one thing that's becoming clear, the more people talk, the more it sounds like Hollywood's been hiding a whole lot more than just scripts and stage lights. Now, swinging back to Terrence Howard, new reports are surfacing, claiming that refusing to wear a dress might have been one of the main reasons he got blacklisted in Hollywood. For years, folks thought Terrence got dropped from Iron Man 2 because of anger issues or being difficult on set. But Terrence shut that talk down quick. He made it clear, it wasn't about his attitude. It was about him refusing to let Hollywood define what a strong black man should look like on screen. He said straight up that there's pressure on black actors to present themselves with a more feminine energy if they want to make it big. And then he dropped one of his realest quotes yet. "My daddy taught me, never take the vertebrae out your back or the base out your throat. I ain't raising sheep, I raised men. Stay a man." Terrence didn't stop there. In another interview, he came even harder, saying Hollywood's got a problem with masculine black men. He pointed out how only white men seem to be allowed to be both strong and non-threatening in the industry. "The man has been dehumanized," Terrence said. "With the new formula, most men are made to be effeminate and not have their power or sense of strength. This ain't just about casting anymore. It's about control. They let white men be strong," Terrence said. "But when it's black men, it's seen as a threat." And he didn't stop there. He added, "I'm not about to remove a few chromosomes just to fit into someone else's story. They need to expand their stories. Let men be men and still admire a woman's beauty." As expected, the internet exploded after that. The whole situation has people split down the middle. Some are calling Terrence and Katt nothing more than conspiracy chasers, saying they're dragging this whole Hollywood agenda too far. Critics argue there are bigger problems out here than whether actors put on dresses. They think these two need to let it go and stop making noise. But on the flip side, there's a massive wave of support coming in. Tons of fans are giving Terrence and Katt their flowers for daring to speak up. They're praising them for pulling back the curtain on the entertainment world's shady underbelly. And now, people are begging for them to team up and spill even more tea about what's really going on behind those industry doors. So here's the real question. Where do you stand? Do you think Katt and Terrence are just stirring the pot for attention? Or are they finally saying out loud what others in Hollywood are too scared to admit? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay in the loop with all the latest tea. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, and I'll catch you in the next video.